Hey guys, welcome back to Crawl TV. Today we are going to be doing a review of our new Superchips F5 Flashcal module. Now this initially was going to be an unboxing video, but as soon as we started taking things apart, we realized that nobody really cares what it looks like when it's not plugged in. So we're going to hook it up to our Jeep and kind of go through some of what the functions are of it and show you what it can do. Now, one of the big things that we're going to be using it for today, after we're done with this video, is pulling a diagnostic trouble code, because we do have a check engine light on for, I already know what it is, it's a BAT02 sensor, but we're going to kind of go through how to find that. Now it came in a box like this. We ordered it from Quadratech. These were back ordered for quite a while, and I think we finally got ours in the mail mid-April time frame. So excited to finally have it. There's a lot that this thing can do that the AEV ProCom module that we had for our last Jeep could not do. So 2.8-inch color screen on it, and it hooks directly up to your OBD port. Sue. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in now. And it plugs in right here by where your left foot goes. Let's see if I can just kind of feel my way over there. There it is. And once it's plugged in, you can see that this thing immediately starts to come to life. It is the Flashcal 4 Jeep, so it of course has a picture of a Jeep on there, which I like. And then we've got a couple different options here once you get to your main screen. You've got your options and tire size calibration, your scan tool and diagnostics, and then your device info and vehicle info, because once you start using this on your vehicle, it does store your VIN number. So we'll start with the options here. Okay to select, and it's going to want us to turn our ignition on, but not turn the vehicle on. So we can go ahead and proceed now. And it is establishing communications with the vehicle. I'm sure you guys can all read, but I'm just trying to help you out there. Okay, and so once we're in this options list here, we can see we've got quite a bit of stuff that we can do, starting with axle lock all the way down through fog lights. Now for some of these, the function allows you to lock the front or rear axles. Do not exceed 30 miles an hour while using this function. Some of these, I don't want to lock my axles right now, but you can see if I hit OK, it would take me to that function. I'll show you the menu list of everything else though. Engine idle, you can actually raise your idle speed. So if you have, like a winch or something that you're running on your Jeep, you can actually bump that up to supply the power for the rest of your parts. So OK to continue. Vehicle must be running to set idle speed. So should I go ahead and do that?
Go ahead.
All right, let's do it. We're going to start the Jeep.
New toy.
Yeah.
Let's see what it can do.
Play with all the functions here. So we'll set OK to continue. And it shows my Jeep idling right now at 700. Let's bump that up. Oh, it's not a touch screen. I don't know if you guys can hear my Jeep actually. And it can bump your idle up pretty high. Still going up. There it is. So with a high idle like this, your alternator's spinning quite a bit faster, and it can recharge your battery. So if you got a 12,000 pound winch on a Jeep and you're running it, it's gonna suck a lot of power. So the purpose of this, or even like an onboard air compressor or anything like that, there are a lot of reasons that you would want to set your idle speed higher. Since I don't have any of that stuff yet, I'll take mine back down to 700. Oh. Okay, so we'll go ahead and exit this. Nope. Exit, please. There we go. Idle speed will return to normal setting. Okay. Tire size. We're running 35s, but if you upgrade your tire size, it's going to throw off your speedometer, and the easiest way to fix that is to just set your tire size on a tuner. Back when I had a Jeep Cherokee, I actually had to replace the worm gear in my transfer case. This is a lot easier. So, as you can see, left or right bumps it up and down in your tire size.
We set that earlier while we were playing with it, but it came with stock tires at
31.5, yeah. And what would be really cool is if you could punch in 37s on this, and then you would have 37s on your Jeep. It doesn't work like that. So we're going to take it back to what we've got. Exit that function.
We're getting tire rub with the 35s. We're going to have to lift it first.
Yeah. Yep, it's touching the chassis and the sway bar. So if you do, I didn't mean to update it just now, but if you do select the update, it does take a second for it to finish updating everything. So it's resetting the tire size now from 35 to 35. But let's see here. Now I've noticed that my check engine light has been flashing and then staying on with the key only in the ignition. I do have a check engine light on my Jeep right now though, so I can't tell if that is coming from the Flashcal module or if it's just because my Jeep is mad at me for not changing this oxygen sensor yet. But that's our next project as soon as we're done with this video. I promise. So if you see that, don't be alarmed. My Jeep is doing it. But I can't tell you if it's from this or not. As soon as this is done resetting my tire size, we can continue here. Ignition is on. Tire size has been modified. Okay, back to our list. Adjust your gear ratio. My gears are 373s. I really wanted 410s. It was not a factory option for this Jeep, and I got this Jeep at a really good price, so I didn't argue much with it. We plan on re-gearing eventually anyways to probably 488s, so you know, depending on your tire size, you're gonna want to adjust your gears accordingly. And when you do that, it's also going to throw off your speedometer because this is based off of output shaft speed. So we're going to stick it with 373 gears. I'm not going to update it because then you go back through that wait time. And now the next one on the list, transfer case low ratio. So Rubicon here, transfer case low ratio is going to be 4:1. Depending on what Jeep you have or what transfer case you have, that can change, you know, but we're not going to play with that too much now because it is just going to stay on stock. Haven't done anything to this Jeep in depth yet. Lamp delay, headlamp delay. 30 seconds is fine, but you get the option of 10, 30, 60, or 120, or no delay. Running lights, you can pick to have your low beams on for your running lights, high beams, turn signals on, fog lights on, European lights.
That's a Jeep.
Or no running lights. Why would you do anything European to such a great American-made vehicle? Then you've got accessory delay, 45 seconds, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. Lane change, which is just the one-touch assist for the blinker, because you do have that option, or you can stick it down and keep the blinker on. So this just turns off this, because when I first started driving my Jeep, I would accidentally hit that and see that I was turning left, and then correct it, and then accidentally be turning right, and then correct it and be turning left again. So you can just set it to how most old school vehicles are, and you just have to push it to stay in place. But I kind of like the one-touch lane assist now that I'm used to it, so I'm going to leave that on. Lamp flash on lock. So if you hit your lock button with your remote key fob, it'll make your headlights flash. I like that function because that lets me know that my key fob is working, so I'm going to leave that on. Horn chirp on lock. So hit your lock button, horn honks. Again, I like that. Tpms off-road. This is what we did with our last Jeep, and the AEV Procal module does the same thing, but basically, if you're airing down your tires, your Tpms tire pressure monitoring system is going to say, hey, what the heck, you got a bunch of low tires, and it's going to start beeping at you on your dash. So this just disables that. It technically, for this, it says off-road mode because it knows that you're going to be airing down your tires for that. So since the AEV Procal module wasn't as nice as this, I just had my Tpms disabled the whole time I had my last Jeep. But for this one, I'm going to leave the Tpms on, and then if I air down, I'll just turn it off with this. And last one on the list here, fog lights. I actually really like this function. I'm going to turn it off here. This is fog lights with Highs Cutoff. So when you turn your lights on, low beams and fog lights will both come on, but if you flick it onto your high beams, your fog lights turn off. And off-road, if you can use your high beams and your fog lights, it gives you a pretty wide range of light. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And that's it for the quick options. Now, for my favorite part of this tuner, you actually have the scan tool in Diagnostics where you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes. You can check your battery voltage. Mine's at 12.7. Read and clear trouble codes. I just cleared them, so right now it says that there are no trouble codes. But then you also have, this is my favorite part, the gauges and data log. You can actually monitor every kind of system that your PCM and TCM are pulling from the sensors in your vehicle. So you can pick 4 at a time for this thing to monitor, and you can choose the option to data log them. But say, since I have a bad oxygen sensor, we're going to watch those right now. Say I wanted to watch O2, bank 1 sensor 1, bank 1 sensor 2, and then bank 2 sensor 1 and bank 2 sensor 2, which is just the oxygen sensor upstream and downstream on both sides of the exhaust here, you know, the left bank and right bank. And it's going to monitor the voltage going through those. So
we have a bad bank 1 sensor 1 right now.
Right, so bank 1 sensor 1 is bad. We're going to show you what that looks like. So this MV is actually millivolts, and it's going to show us our min and max. It doesn't show any kind of mapping or anything like that, but once this thing warms up, because you know it's going to be an open loop system for the oxygen sensors until the vehicle warms up. Ours is already at operating temperature, so those things don't need to use the heating elements or anything. They should just be warmed up, and it should be able to start kicking out information to us pretty quickly here. But you can see this is all live data. And then once you want to start data logging it so that you can actually, this thing has a USB port down here, or a micro USB I mean, and then the other end of the cable that came with this kit is a USB port, so you can plug it into your computer and it'll pull up all the data logging in an Excel format, so you can see exactly what's going on with your vehicle, and it'll show you every single category, not just these 4. But if you want to start data logging, you hit the OK button, and these lights here turn green, and you can actually see max voltage, or sorry, millivolts. I don't know what the heck that came from.
It's max and minimum millivolts.
Yeah, so max here, min there of millivolts. That's what I meant to say. You can see it's just slowly reading all these codes and stuff, but I don't want to waste too much time on that. I just wanted to show you guys that you can actually pick short-term fuel bank 1, long-term, short-term, long-term. You can read just about anything with this tuner, which is super cool to me, because I plan on learning a little bit more about this, and kind of it's nice to be able to not take it to work and have something that I can fully diagnose my Jeep with from home. So the Evap system here, catalyst temperatures, bank 1 sensor 1, catalyst bank 2 sensor 1. I guess we need 2 more, so we're going to go to our oxygen sensors. O2, O2. So let's see what these say. And this is reading our catalytic converters in degrees, so they're both about 989 degrees right now. And then this is the the voltage to the oxygen sensors. So we're reading a couple different things here, but again, really cool. This thing is well worth its money. We picked this up from Quadratech, and we're very excited to actually get to pull it out of the box and play with it now. So in our next video that we're going to make, we're going to show you how to replace an oxygen sensor, and you can actually see on this, once we've cleared the codes for that check engine light, and then once we replace the oxygen sensor, we're going to pull up this live data feed and see if anything has changed, because hopefully Jeep should stop running like dog crap, because the fuel trim mixture should be back to normal. It's not working properly right now, so it's really dogging out on me. But yeah, that's about it for this. I think I've covered just about everything here. Let's see, the only other page that we didn't really go into here is this info page, and this will just show you the vehicle info. Tuner has not been used, and device info. It just shows you, basic device info.
Anything you might need if you have to report a problem or contact
Right.
Superchips.
Right, exactly. So That's it. Again, this is the F5 Superchips Pro Cal module. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. Again, I'm still going to be digging a little bit farther into these instructions and reading a little bit more about my live data feed. So I'm going to hook it up to the computer later and see if I can get any more info from it. But one last thing to note is that this thing is updatable. With that USB port down here, you can plug it into your computer, go on to superchips.com, and then you can download and update with the latest software for these. So again, one really cool function about them. But that's it for now, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and get a hold of us on any one of our social media outlets. And thanks for watching Crawl TV. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Crawl TV. Today we are going to be unboxing the Superchips Flashcal F5 tuner Wasp. There we go. Also works as a fly swatter.